Good morning, children. This is lecture 2 of chapter Language of Chemistry. In this lecture, we will study about chemical equations, how to balance a chemical equation, and some calculation based on chemical equations. Chemical equations. A chemical reaction is a chemical change where different substances react and their chemical composition changes to form a new substance. Chemical equations may be defined as the representation of reactants and products involved in a chemical reaction using words of their respective symbols and formulae. If two substances A and B react to produce C and D, the reactions may be written as A plus B arrow C plus D. Here A plus B, these two are the reactant, and C and D, these two are the products. Okay. In a chemical reaction, the reactants are always written on the left hand side and the products on the right hand side. The arrow indicates the direction of the reaction, which side the reaction is proceeding. The conditions necessary for reaction to take place is written above the arrow or below the arrow. Let us explain how to write a chemical equations with the help of some examples. The first example is chemical reactions between hydrogen and oxygen. So the two things are reacting, that is hydrogen and oxygen. Naturally, these two are known as reactants. They produces water. So the water is the product. The word and the chemical equation for this chemical reaction can be represented as 2H2 plus O2 is giving you 2H2O. Here hydrogen plus oxygen is giving you water. Now why it is 2H2 is reacting with 1 oxygen is giving you 2H2O. That will be explained. This is a balance equation. That balancing of equation will be explained in the following slides. Example 2. Word and chemical equation for the decomposition reactions of water into hydrogen and oxygen. Breaking of water into hydrogen and oxygen, that is known as decomposition, is given by 2H2O is giving you 2H2 plus O2. That means water when decomposed, it is giving hydrogen and oxygen. The third one, word and chemical equation for the chemical reaction involved in the formation of carbon dioxide can be represented as formation of carbon dioxide. That means the product is carbon dioxide. It can be given as C plus O2 is giving you CO2. And the word and chemical equation for the reaction between hydrogen and chlorine can be written as H2 plus Cl2 is giving you 2HCl. Okay. A very important slide, law of conservation of mass. In a chemical reaction, matter can neither be created nor can be destroyed. This is called law of conservation of mass. Matter can neither be created nor can be destroyed. The total mass of the reactant remains same as the total mass of the products. Also, the type of atoms and total number of each types of atoms in the reactant remains same as that of the total number of atom types, and the number present in the products remains same. That means on both the side, on the reactant side and the product side, the atoms and the number of atoms will be same. Okay, total mass of the reactants remains same, the total mass of the product. Therefore, it is necessary to balance the chemical equation to maintain the conservation of mass. Is it okay? Why balancing of an equation is important? Because you have to maintain the law of conservation of mass. Okay. In the next couple of slides, balancing chemical equation will be explained with example. Balancing chemical equations. For balancing a chemical equation, some steps are given here. Let me explain these steps for balancing a chemical equation. The first example given here, decomposition of water into its constituent. You all know that when water decomposes, it is giving hydrogen and oxygen gas. So, this is the chemical equation reaction for decomposition of water. H2O is giving H2 plus O2. How to balance this equation? Step 1. The first step is to equalize the number of atoms on both the reactant and the product side of the reaction. To see, in the reactant side, number of hydrogen is 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Nothing is shown in oxygen, that means 1 atom of oxygen. And in the product side, 2 atoms of hydrogen, but oxygen is also having 2 atoms. So you can understand that on reactant side and the product side, the atoms of this element is not same. They are unequal. So step 2, you have to balance the equation. You have to equalize the number of atoms on both the side. For doing that, we have to increase the oxygen atom on the reactant side. Because in the reactant side, we are having 1 atom of oxygen and in the product side, we are having 2 atoms of oxygen. Okay, we can do this by putting 2 before the reactant in the following manner. 2H2O, 2 has to be written in front of H2O. Okay, if we are writing 2 in front of H2O, so the equation is becoming 2H2O is giving you H2 plus O2. Now, just check here the total number of atoms again. You are getting that hydrogen here is 2 2s are 4, 4 atoms of hydrogen and 2 atoms of oxygen. Okay, in the reactant side, and in the product side, we are having 2 atoms of hydrogen and 2 atoms of oxygen. Now, if we are putting 2 before H2 in the reactant side, again the hydrogen is not equal. Hydrogen become unequal. Now step 3. Now we need to balance the number of hydrogen atom on the product side. For this, we need to put 2 before hydrogen on the product side. So the equation then can be written as 2H2O is giving you 2H2 plus O2. Now you check in the left hand side, we are having 4 atoms of hydrogen and 2 atoms of oxygen, because this 2 which has been written before H2O should be multiplied both by hydrogen and oxygen. And in the right hand side, that is the product side, hydrogen is having 4 hydrogen now, 2 2s are 4. 2 2s are 4 and oxygen is 2. So on the reactant side also, hydrogen is now 4 atoms and oxygen is 2 atoms. Similar to that, in the right hand side, that is in the product side, hydrogen is 4 atoms and oxygen is 2 atoms. So this is a balanced chemical equation. So what you are getting? In the reactant side, you are putting 2 and the product side also you are putting 2 before H2. After putting 2 on both the sides, the hydrogen in the reactant side is becoming 4 and oxygen is 2 and the number of atoms on the product side the hydrogen is 4 and the oxygen is 2. We can see that the number of atoms on both the reactant side is now equal to the number of atoms on the product side. We have now achieved the balance equation of the reaction. The complete balance equation now can be written as 2H2O is giving you 2H2 plus O2. I already explained it to you. Example 2. Burning of magnesium in presence of air. Magnesium burns in presence of oxygen to form magnesium oxide. So, let us see what are the steps involved in that. This is the first reaction, Mg plus O2 is giving you MgO. Now, step 1, you have to count the number of atoms on both the sides. So, in the reactant side, magnesium is 1 and oxygen is 2. In the product side, magnesium is 1 and oxygen is 1. So, this is not a balance equation. Oxygen in the reactant side having 2 atoms and in the product side it is having 1 atom. So, you have to balance this. So, in step 2, in order to balance the equation, we have to increase oxygen on the product side. So, what we will do, significance of chemical equation. Significance of a chemical equation will be discussed with respect to the reaction. 2H2 plus O2 is giving you 2H2O. A chemical equation represents the name of the reactants and the products. In the given example, the reactants are hydrogen and oxygen and the product is water. It tells the number of atoms or molecules taking part in a reaction. In the given example, 2 molecules of hydrogen are reacting with 1 molecule of oxygen to produce 2 molecules of water. It also tells the proportion of reactants and products in a chemical reaction. In the given example, the proportion of hydrogen and oxygen in the reaction is 2:1. The reaction is H2 plus O2 is giving you 2H2O. This is 2H2. So, the ratio between hydrogen and oxygen is 2:1. Is it okay, children? The arrow tells the direction of the reaction. This arrow means reaction is from left to right. And if the arrow is written like this, means the reaction is reversible. In the given example, it is only from left to right. It tells about the mass of the reactants and the products. Okay, in the given example, 2 gram of hydrogen react with 16 gram of oxygen to produce 18 gram of water. Because hydrogen, the atomic mass is 1. Okay, so 2 grams of hydrogen reacts with 16 gram of oxygen to produce 18 gram of water. Some chemical calculations from chemical equations. Example 1. Calculate the mass of magnesium oxide when 5.8 gram of magnesium is burnt in presence of air. Atomic mass of magnesium is 24 and oxygen is 16 given. For doing this sum, first of all, you have to write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction between magnesium and oxygen. So, this is your balanced chemical equation. 2Mg plus O2 is giving you 2MgO. In the second step, you have to write the molecular mass of the reactants and the products. So, 2Mg means it is 2 into 24 because the atomic mass of magnesium is 24. So, 2 into 24 is giving you 48 gram. Oxygen We are having 2 atoms of oxygen and atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So it is 2 into 16 is 32. And you have to find out the molecular mass of MgO. That is 2 MgO. How to find out the molecular mass of 2 MgO? 2 MgO can be written as 2 bracket. Magnesium is 24, 1 atom of magnesium plus 1 atom of oxygen, that is 16, which is equals to 2 into 40, so that is 80. You see here 80 gram of magnesium oxide. Now the question is that calculate the mass of magnesium oxide when 5.8 gram of magnesium is burnt in presence of air. That means you have to find out the mass of magnesium oxide. You can do it with simple unitary method. Okay, from this equation we can see that, we can write that 48 gram of magnesium when burnt in oxygen in air, it is giving 80 gram of magnesium oxide. Therefore, 1 gram of magnesium is giving 80 by 48 gram of magnesium oxide. In my question, 5.8 gram of magnesium given. So, 5.8 gram of magnesium is producing 80 by 48 into 5.8, which is equal to 9.7 gram of magnesium oxide. So when 5.8 gram of magnesium is burned in presence of air, we are getting 9.7 gram of magnesium oxide. Am I clear to you, children? Second example, calculate the mass of calcium oxide obtained when 30 gram of calcium carbonate is heated. Atomic mass of calcium is given 40, carbon is 12 and oxygen is 16. For this, you have to write first the chemical reaction for the heating of calcium carbonate. So this is the reaction. If you heat calcium carbonate, it is giving you CaO plus CO2. Now you have to see whether the reaction is balanced or not. In the left hand side, you are having 1 atom of calcium. In the right hand side also, you are having 1 atom of calcium. In the left hand side, you are having 1 atom of carbon. In the right hand side, you are having 1 atom of carbon. In the left hand side, you are having 3 atoms of oxygen. In the right hand side, you are having 1 and 2, 3 atoms of oxygen. So all the elements are balanced in both the sides, on both the sides. So you need not to balance this equation. So for the second step, you have to calculate the molecular mass of the reactant and the product. The left hand side, you are having CaCO3. Now you have to find out the molecular mass of CaCO3. Calcium is 1 atom of calcium, that is 40, plus 1 atom of carbon, that is 12, plus 3 atom of oxygen, that is 3 into 16. It is coming 40 plus 12 plus 48, which is coming to 100. Similarly, you have to find out for calcium oxide. Calcium oxide, that is 40 plus 16, it is coming to 56. And CO2 is coming to 44. Now, you have to find out the mass of calcium oxide that is obtained when 30 gram of calcium carbonate is heated. Okay, so you have to frame a sentence in such a way, you have to do it by unitary method. So you have to frame a sentence in such a way that calcium oxide should be in the right hand side. So from this equation, we can write that 100 gram of calcium carbonate on heating produces 56 gram of CaO, calcium oxide. Therefore, 1 gram of calcium carbonate on heating produces 56 by 100 gram of CaO. What is in the question given? 30 grams. So 30 gram of calcium carbonate on heating giving 56 by 30 into 100, 56 by 100 into 30 gram of calcium oxide, which is coming to 16.8 gram of calcium oxide. So when you are heating 30 gram of calcium carbonate, we are getting 16.8 gram of calcium oxide. I hope you have understood. Example 3. Calculate the mass of sodium chloride obtained when 20 gram of sodium reacts with chlorine. Atomic mass of sodium is given 22.9 and chlorine is given 35.5. You know that the atomic mass of sodium is 23. But as in the question, the atomic mass of sodium is given 22.9, you will take the atomic mass of sodium as 22.9 only and chlorine is 35.5. So for that, you have to write first the balanced chemical equation. You can understand that when sodium reacts with chlorine, that means Na plus Cl2 is giving you NaCl. You have to balance that. So after balancing, we are getting 2Na plus Cl2 is giving you 2 NaCl. Like the previous one, you have to find out the molecular mass of the reactant and the product. So the molecular mass calculation is shown here. Sodium is 45.8 gram is coming. Cl2 is coming 71 gram and 2NaCl is coming 116.8 gram. Now, from the equation, you know that you have to calculate, you have to find out the mass of sodium chloride. Okay, when 20 gram of sodium is reacting. So from the equation, you can understand that 45.8 gram of sodium, when react with chlorine, it is giving 116.8 gram of NaCl. That you will write and you will do the unitary method and you will find out 20 gram of sodium when react with chlorine, how much sodium chloride it is producing. It is coming to 51 gram. Children, you will do this numerical on your own in your notebook. Am I clear, children? Now we will see some limitations of chemical equations. Chemical equations in its native form has certain limitations that are mentioned below. The first one is, it does not tell us about the physical state of the reactants and the products, where the reactants and the products are in gaseous state or liquid state or solid state. It does not tell us about the concentration of the reactants and the products. Third, it does not tell us about the necessary conditions for the reactions to occur, such as temperature, pressure, catalyst, used or not. These things are not said. The fourth one, it does not tell us about the heat changes, whether it is exothermic or endothermic, that take place during the chemical reaction. So, to address these limitations, chemical equations may be modified as mentioned below. The state of the matter, such as solid, liquid or gas, may be indicated by letters within bracket S, L or G respectively by the side of each reactant and the products. Upward arrow is a sign for indicating an escaping gas. Okay, this type of arrow is been used for indicating an escaping gas. If a gas is coming out, then we are writing this upward arrow beside that gas. The concentration of the reactants are mentioned below each reactant. Necessary conditions are indicated above or below the direction arrow. The heat changes are mentioned after the products with a positive or a negative sign. Negative sign is for exothermic and positive for endothermic. These are the modification done in a chemical reactions. This is the end of topic language of chemistry. Please go through the videos properly and take the help of your book for your better understanding.